Hey y'all, my name's Destiny. I'm 26 years old. I live in Dallas, Texas. And I am a girl who just loves to read and who loves to go shopping, and specifically book shopping. So this is my first bookish video, and so I decided that for my first video I would do a May wrap up. So just going through all the books that I read in the month of May. If you like all things books, specifically books by Black authors, then you should stick along and tune in. So for the first book that I read in the month of May, I read The Kiss Countdown by Ida Easton. And I believe I finished this on like May 1st or 2nd, rated it 4 or 5 stars out of 5. And I really enjoyed this book. I read this book in preparation, or I was reading romances even before May. Even in April, I was reading a couple of romances. May, I read this one as my last romance in preparation for one of my anticipated reads that's here in the stack. So this did exactly what I needed it to do. It took place in Houston, was about, what was her name? Amir, and then Vincent. Those are the two, the female main character and the male main character, and I really enjoyed their romance. It was fluffy, it was cute, it was sweet. It gave me all the feels. And I also like that it takes place in Houston, and that the NASA space was mentioned as well. And it was just a quick read, really quick, short read, and I loved it. So that was my first book that I read. Then my second book that I read, I picked this book up after going and watching Sinners. I watched Sinners twice. Let me know how many times y'all have watched Sinners. I'm considering seeing it a third time or waiting for it to come out. I may buy the movie, actually buy it. I haven't done that in a while, but I think it would be worth it. But after I had watched that movie, I came back home and I was looking at commentary from it, just because you leave that movie having so many thoughts, and you wanted to hear someone else's perspective to either validate what you thought or give you a new perspective. Hence why I went and saw it a second time, because it had brought up some things that I didn't catch the first time. But I came home and watched that commentary, and then there are videos on TikTok and on YouTube that were being posted about books that would be recommended to go along with Sinners. And so I ran across, I don't know if Shelby made a video or if she made a short, but I ran across her content, and this was one of the books she recommended, and I honestly picked up a couple more that she recommended, but this was the one where it was like, oh, I got to get around to that immediately. So after finishing that one, I got straight into this one, and that is Sky Full of Elephants by Cebu Campbell. I ate this one down. Ate it down, tabbed it. I usually don't tab my books, especially, I usually don't, especially books that I recommend to other people, because I don't want my highlights or tabs to get in the way. But some of this stuff I just had to highlight so I could go back on and mention to other people. And so this book, I want to read the insert just a little. And so it says, in a world without white people, what does it mean to be Black? One day, an event occurs. All of the white people in America walk into the nearest body of water. A year later, Charlie Brunton is a Black man living in an entirely new world. Having served time in prison after a wrongful conviction, he's now professor of electric and solar power systems at Howard University when he receives a call from someone he wasn't even sure existed. His daughter, Sydney, a 19-year-old left behind by her white mother and stepfamily. So I'll end it there, just because I don't want to keep reading it. I want y'all to pick it up and read it for yourselves, and then read the book as well. But I really enjoyed the dynamic between Sydney and Charlie, and even just Sydney and herself, and her self-love journey and her healing journey from not only losing her family, but also discovering who she is, that other side of her, because she missed out on that relationship with her father for so long. And then also understanding Charlie and his relationship with himself as well, and how him being involved with his new community, how that caused him to do some introspection for himself, and healing from past trauma and past wrongdoings. I ate this book down. And one of my biggest takeaways that I took from the book is the importance of community and how desperate, or how, not desperate, but how much I desire to establish that community for myself. I still haven't found that core group of people besides family, but like that core group of people outside of my family who I could really depend on and like go to if I was in need. And so really just working on establishing those relationships with them, so that if something like this ever goes down, we got each other's back. We're just not out here for self. And I think that's something that our today's culture and even my generation as a whole is struggling with, separating self from community. I think that's one of our biggest downfall. I think we should all come back together and go back to what our elders have done in the past. My grandmother's generation, where everybody watched everybody's kids, everybody took care of each other, everyone cooked for each other, everyone gave to one another and wasn't so focused on keeping and hoarding things for themselves. And so I took that away from this book as well. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this. This right here, this was a 5-star. I have to check my Goodreads. I know this was a 5-star. Now, for my third book that I read, this book right here, I have been looking forward to since last year when I finished the second book in the series, and there was an insert at the end where she had mentioned that this book would be coming out in 2025, and that is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. This is the third book, the third and final book in the Skyland series. I don't know if, yeah, y'all can see these. I ate this down. I cried. I laughed. I laughed a lot, actually. I was really looking forward to Hendrix's story just because I relate so much to Hendrix. I'm not of age like Hendrix, but where Hendrix is in this book, being single, not having any children, really being focused on her career, being driven by her career, and then still having, what's the word I'm looking for? And then still struggling with that. Well, she wasn't really even struggling. She was mainly, I lost track of my thoughts. I don't know what to say. Honestly, I finished this book today and I'm still wrapping my mind around it on whether this book is my favorite out of the series or if book 2, Soledad's Story, is my favorite. But I really enjoy Hendrix as a character. Really liked how Hendrix approached her dating with Maverick, how she didn't fall head over heels, how she used caution. You know, we get into these relationships, especially if it's been a while, we get into these relationships and we just throw all caution to the wind. And Hendrix wasn't like that. And she provided a really good example of setting boundaries, putting yourself first, your desires first, but then also coming to the realization that, hey, I may possibly be hurting myself if I don't go towards this situation or if I don't give into this situation. And so finding that balance between give and take or give and sacrifice was really insightful. But just her highlighting that I think was really important, especially for girls in my generation, where we definitely should be dating intently and dating slower as well. That's one thing that I'm excited about in the future once I do start dating again, is I want to take it slow. Like, I love a nice slow burn. So like the slower it can burn, the happier I should be. And that's not how I dated in the past. In the past, I'm just like, oh, I fall head over heels. Then I bump my head a couple times and then I'm back where I started, in the trenches. But I really enjoyed this book. I'm still debating on if this will be my favorite book or if this will be my second favorite book, but definitely it's between Soledad and Hendrix's story for me. I'm not a big second chance romance girly. I'm really not. And so that first book was a second chance romance. I like to fall in love once with you and that be it. That's just me though. That's just me. But yeah, guys, those are the 3 books that I read for the month. Let me know which books y'all read for the month. And then let me know if you're interested in any of the books that I talked about today. Thanks for watching my video. Have a good rest of your day.